At the beginning of the story, we see a man having a special cream applied to his body. He has absolutely no idea that he is about to receive such a horrifying punishment. Meanwhile, the guards, without explaining anything, hang a countdown timer around his neck and tightly fasten a strong steel ring onto his arm. The very next moment, they open a hatch in the train and brutally force his arm outside through the hole. As soon as his arm goes outside, his painful screams echo throughout the compartment. But within just 2 seconds, his screams suddenly stop because the temperature outside is minus 200 degrees. The man's arm freezes solid due to the extreme cold. As soon as the timer ends, the guards pull his arm back inside. When one of the guards checks it with a spoon, the arm has become completely hard like iron. Then, suddenly, a guard lifts a heavy iron hammer and smashes the frozen arm into pieces. The moment his arm is separated from his body, the man collapses there, writhing in agony. Seeing this made the poor people sitting inside the train shiver with fear. They watched everything silently, but they could do nothing because this was an era when the entire earth had been buried under a blanket of ice. Nearly 99% of humanity had perished due to the extreme cold, and the few survivors had taken refuge inside this continuously moving train, which had not stopped for the past 15 years and kept circling around the frozen world. If the train were to stop even by mistake, its engine would freeze because of the ice, and everyone living inside the train would die. Actually, this train contained a whole world inside it. Every compartment was like a different social class. At the very back was the tail section, where around 1,000 poor and unfortunate people lived. Their lives were no better than life in a prison. There was no proper cleanliness, and they did not get good food. To stay alive, they were given only a black protein bar, which they ate to get through the day. In the next compartment lived the middle-class people. Their lives were much better than those of the poor because they received clean food and safe drinking water. After that came the first-class compartment, where the rich and VIP passengers lived. Since they had paid a huge amount of money for their tickets, they enjoyed a luxurious lifestyle and special meals. They also had complete control over the train's system. Morning arrives, and 2 guards enter the compartment. They are looking for a skilled violin player. As soon as they announce this, an old man steps forward and says that both he and his wife know how to play the violin. However, the guards only need one person. The old man refuses to leave his wife behind. Hearing this, one of the guards attacks his wife and breaks her arm. The old man is then taken away by force. Seeing this, everyone becomes furious, but they are powerless against the guards and cannot do anything. At the same time, we see a man named Curtis secretly searching for something with his friend Edgar. A woman named Tanya signals to him that the item is with her son. Curtis somehow gets the black protein bar from the boy. In fact, they are searching for secret messages hidden inside those protein bars. The messages are being sent from the very front section of the train by an unknown person. Curtis breaks open the bar and finds a small capsule inside. The capsule contains a message. He immediately gives it to Gilliam, the oldest and wisest man in the tail section. This time, the message contains only one name, Namgung Minsu. Perhaps this was the name that would change their fate forever. Namgung Minsu was the man who had designed the train's security systems. Unfortunately, he was now imprisoned in the train's jail section. Curtis and Gilliam come up with a plan. If they want freedom, they must somehow get Namgung out of prison. He is the only person who can open every door and help them reach the engine room. That same night, a woman named Mason enters the compartment. This time, her demand is even more terrifying. She wants a child. Mason begins measuring the height of all the children. Tanya tries to hide her son, but the guards forcibly grab the boy and take him away. A man named Andrew becomes furious and attacks the guards. He even throws a shoe at Mason and hits her on the head. A short time later, the guards return to punish Andrew. They pull his arm outside the train into the freezing cold until it becomes frozen solid. Then they smash it with a hammer, breaking it completely. After that, the train's minister arrives and gives a cruel speech to everyone. She says, "A person's place is like a shoe's place. A shoe belongs on the feet, not on the head." These words fill the people in the tail section with anger and a desire for revenge. Curtis decides that he has had enough and will not tolerate this oppression any longer. Curtis suspects that the guards no longer have any bullets left in their guns. To test his theory, he walks straight up to a guard, places the gun against his own forehead, and pulls the trigger. Nothing happens. No bullet is fired. Seeing this, the people of the tail section rush at the guards, and a rebellion begins. After a long and difficult fight, they finally reach the prison section and free Namgung Minsu. To wake Namgung up, they give him a drug called Chronol. His daughter, Yona, has a strange ability. She can sense what is happening behind closed doors, even without seeing through them. Namgung agrees to open each door only if he is paid with Chronol pills. As a result, the group begins moving through the train's front sections one by one. For the first time in 17 years, the people from the tail section see sunlight through the train's windows. They are shocked to realize that the world was never completely dark. Later, they enter the kitchen section, where Curtis discovers a horrifying truth. The protein bars they have been eating for years are actually made from ground-up cockroaches. As they continue forward, they learn about the train's water supply system. They realize that if they can gain control of the water, they could put pressure on the VIP VIP passengers and challenge their power. But the journey is far from easy. The guards attack them with axes and other weapons, and many of the poor passengers are killed. The train passes through a dark tunnel, where the guards use night vision equipment to hunt them down. Curtis and his companions fight back using torches, leading to a brutal and bloody battle. Curtis watches his friend Edgar die right in front of him. Gilliam is also shot by the guards. In the end, only Curtis, Nam-gung, and Yona manage to survive and continue forward. As they move through the train, they finally see its hidden world of green gardens, an aquarium, sushi restaurants, a school, a hospital, beauty salons, and a life of luxury. The people from the tail section are shocked to discover how comfortably the upper-class passengers have been living. In the school section, they learn that the children of the elite are being brainwashed to hate the people from the tail section. Another violent attack takes place there, and many more people lose their lives. Eventually, Curtis reaches the engine room and meets Wilford, the man who created the train and turned it into humanity's last refuge. Wilford reveals a disturbing truth: all the secret messages sent to the tail section were part of his plan. The uprisings and conflicts were carefully controlled to keep the population balanced and maintain order on the train. Meanwhile, Nam-gung and Yona fight against the remaining elite passengers. Yona discovers the same child who was taken away earlier, trapped inside the engine. The horrifying reality is that every year a child is used to help operate the engine, almost like a replacement part for the machine. When Curtis learns this, he becomes furious. He rescues the child, while Yona lights the chronal explosive. A massive explosion follows, shaking the huge snow-covered mountains around the train. The resulting avalanche causes the train to derail and be completely destroyed. Almost everyone dies in the disaster. When Yona regains consciousness, she finds that only she and Timmy are still alive. For the first time, they step outside the train and into the frozen world beyond. In the distance, they see a living polar bear. The sight of the bear becomes a powerful symbol of hope. It proves that life still exists outside. The ice is beginning to thaw, and the world may be recovering after all. And with that small but meaningful sign of hope, the story comes to an end.